Good evening, folks. Just got through talking to you about another hunt I was on where I just about drowned on a river turkey hunting one time. And I have another story to tell you. It's just as hilarious. Took place several years later over on the Tiger River, central Piedmont area, hunting. And on this particular hunt, I had a friend that wanted a turkey hunt. And there's only two people in the world that are bad turkey hunters. That's me and that boy right there. He was the only fellow I knew that was actually worse than me. So he asked me to put him on a turkey. And that's like, asking the tooth fairy to give you a tooth back. It ain't going to happen. But anyway, I had a turkey that I tried to take a couple different times. And he was hanging out in the bottoms on the Tiger River. And just depending on what day you got down there, which side of the river he was on. And I told him, I said, now we get down there, if he's on the wrong side of the river, it's a long ways over there to get to the bottoms down there. I said, probably ain't going to get him, but he won't come across that river hardly. But we'll try. And he's a big gobbler too. So me and him took off one afternoon, parked the car on the side of a bluff up there, and we commenced walking. We walked probably 3/4 of a mile down through the woods, and there was a faint trail there where people, in the summertime, I guess, they go down and they catfish on the river sometimes. But there's a long way down in there. And I never met anybody down there in the woods doing it, but you could tell where people had put out bait, where they fish with worms, whatever, years past, where they left debris laying around the bank. So we got down there in the bottoms, walking around, calling, and directly I heard the big gobbler cut loose, but he was on the other side. And so we tried to set up, call him back, and I got him to come down in the bottoms, and he was really rationing it up, but this big old bird, he was waiting for the hen to come to him. He wasn't going to hear her. So we tried off and on for probably about an hour, and he finally just went the other way. And I told the boy, I said, now, based on what I've seen before, he'll be back down in here in about another hour. He'll come back to his bottoms and headed to roost later on. I said, he ain't going to cross, so we can either leave or we go try to find somewhere else to go, or what do you want to do? He said, well, Donnie, I really want that big bird. He sounds big. I said, oh, he's a big one, all right. I said, but we ain't going to get him. He ain't crossing this river. He said, well, what can we do? I looked at him. I said, well, boy, name was Roger. I said, Roger? I said, ain't one thing you can do. I said, we can come back another day and get on the other side, and in that time, he'll probably be on this side. Or if you want him this afternoon, if you want to try this afternoon, we're going to have to swim this river. And he said, swim the river? I said, yeah. I said, that's the only way you're going to get over there. And the river's on it. The river really probably wasn't more than 40 yards wide at this spot, and probably only in the about 20 foot of the middle was over your head. The rest of it was probably waist deep. And I told him, I said, most of the way you can wade it, but you're going to have to swim sooner or later across. I said, we got a long walk to get back out of here. It's going to be at dark. I said, do you want to go for it? He said, if you think we can make it over there, yeah, well, I'll go for it. I said, well, let me tell you something. I said, I ain't walking out of here soaking wet clothes tonight, all the way up that truck, and then drive home for 2 hours in the dark, soaking wet. I said, if I'm going across that river, I'm stripping down. He said, well, how are we going to carry clothes across there? How you going to get them across it? Gun and everything. I said, I ain't. I said, I'm stripping down to my underwear, roll them clothes up, we'll put them over on that log over there. When I come back across, I'll put them clothes on. And I may have wet underwear, but that's all it's going to be wet. The rest of it's going to be dry. He said, you going to swim across in your underwear? I said, yeah. He said, well, if you dumb enough to do it, I'll do it too. So I said, all right. So we stripped down. So we got our Fruit of the Loom white underwear on, and the end of the river we go, tote the rifles up above us. And one arm, keep the gun dry and everything. We got in the middle. We had to swim for about 25 foot at the most. And then we was able to touch bottom again. We walked the rest of the way up and got the other side. But what I didn't think about is on the other side over there, we're butt naked except for our underwear. That bank was black, not red, but black. I guess you call it topsoil, just mucky, it all get up. We had to climb about a 15-foot bank to get out of there. And when we got up there, we didn't have on white underwear no more. We was covered in black muck. And we eased up on top. The first thing I done is we was coming up on top, crawling up. He cut loose. He had come back down the hill. He was coming back to make his little path going down for the rooster in the evening, I guess. And when he cut loose, wherever we was, we just froze. We just had a head barely there. But where we was at, there just wasn't any place to get a good shot. Not a place I want to call him. I said, we need to move about 30 yards to the left. There's a little bit of cover there. We can hide behind it. So Gobbler's over there gobbling up on the hill, maybe 70, 80 yards away. But he's over on top of the hill. He can't see us. So we kind of Marine style across the muddy flat we go. We don't stand up. We just scare. He might see us. And we get over to the little brush pile. I get behind one. He gets behind the other. And we're laying flat down in the mud. And there's mosquitoes. And them mosquitoes love, even muddy covered meat, they love it. So them mosquitoes are flying all over us. We covered in mud. I've got the call. I'm calling. I'm not hunting. Roger's doing the shooting. We're only laying about 12 foot apart. He's behind one little sapling over there. I'm behind another one. And I look around and say, all right, get ready. And I hit the call. Boy, when I hit that call, whoom, he called right back. I hit the call, he called right back. And every time he hit it, he coming. He coming down the hill. And I mean, he is coming. The hen is done come across the river to him, and he's coming to her one last time before he goes to roost, I guess. And down that bottom he comes, and I'm sitting there. Sound like he ain't 15 yards away, but he's probably still 60 yards out when I see him coming between the trees. And he's coming. Boy, he's looking. And he's just coming. And then he's 50 yards out. And then he's 40 yards out. And at about 40 yards, 35, 40 yards, he just kind of locks up and he starts strutting back and forth. Well, Roger's right there beside me, and I'm, 35, 40 yards, that's a long way, but that's not a long way. I mean, if he's standing there, I'm going to take that shot. I'm looking over, I'm flat with a call right here. I'm laying flat on the mud. And I just out of the corner of my eye, I can see Roger over there. He got the gun, he's laying there, and he don't fire. And that bird goes back and forth for a full 2 minutes. And Roger don't fire. And he turns, starts going back up the field again. And I hit the call, and he whirls around, here he comes back, and back again. Roger don't fire. And the bird turns, starts going over the hill. And this time, I look over and I say, shoot him. And he don't answer me, he don't do anything. And bird turns, comes back up the hill, but he's about 50 yards out this time. And he goes by us again. Turn, and this time, and I'm talking to him now, because I'm got nothing to lose. For some reason, Roger ain't shooting. And then he goes right by us, and down the hill he goes, and all the way out of sight. He never stopped, just a gobble. And I'm really upset. I walk over, I'm thinking, well, maybe the gun misfired, and he couldn't get to work. I get up and walk over to him, and I am covered in black mud everywhere. And Roger stands up, and I said, Roger, why didn't you shoot that bird? He said, never saw him. What do you mean you never saw him? He standing out there in front of us 3 different times for a couple of minutes at a time. He said, oh, I could hear him. He said, that one tree right there in front of me, he was behind it the whole time. I said, well, did you think about moving a little bit? He said, well, I ain't killed no bird before. I know you ain't supposed to move, so I wasn't going to move. I was going to let him come to me. I said, well, he didn't come to you, did he? He said, no. I said, well, maybe we'll come back and get him another day. Never did. But, it was a bum hunt, put it that way. But the good news is, now here we are, we're standing there, and we're completely covered in black filth, mud, just all over our body. And, you wouldn't even know we had white Fruit of the Loom underwear on because it was black. So I said, okay, look, we need to get out of here. It's getting dark enough that you really almost need a flashlight. And we need to get out and get our clothes and get up and get that path. So we ain't got a flashlight. So we walk up the bank and look down the bank and you can see the water. We just go down the bank. Go right down the bank and start in the river. Well, we get out about waist deep water, and about that time, I hear something break a limb, and we're getting ready to start to swim across, and I look, and I see a light. What was a lantern? I see a lantern come around a tree, and as I'm standing in the water, getting ready to swim back, and look, here comes this lantern through the early darkness coming toward us. And Roger looked at me and said, "What is that? What is it?" I said, "I don't know." And out on the bank steps about a 55, 65-year-old man and woman. They got 2 rods. They got a lantern. She's towed the lantern, by the way. And they come down to catfish, yes, or carp or catfish, whatever. But they step out on the bank and they're looking into water. Well, we're off to the side there, about 25, well, maybe 30 foot above them in the river. At this time, we're just standing there waist deep. And they're looking at the water. And about that time, well, I forget which one, they look up at it and you can see them like looking over at us. Because we're standing in the river on the other side in waist deep water. And I just wade right on in and just start swimming and coming across. And we come across, they're about 30 foot below us. And we come, on the other side, we get on the other side, the water gets shallower. We stand up. And as we come along, we do have on white underwear now because the water has done washed the black mud off. And they're like, "What the heck?" 2 men in their underwear walking through the water. We come up the bank. And as we come up the bank, they're still standing 30-something foot. And they're standing there. They ain't said a word. And as we go by them, I think I said, "Good afternoon." and I said, "Good afternoon." And don't take 2 steps. I reach down, and my clothes rolled up the ball right there on the log. Roger, I just reached down and get my clothes. Don't stop, put them on, just turn, just keep on walking straight away. And we don't walk 15 foot. We're completely hidden in the brush. And we go about 50 yards up the hill there. We stop and put our clothes on, and then get out of there. But to this day, I wonder what that woman and that man thought. What in the world are they doing down here butt naked with shotguns in the hand in the dark, walking out of the woods? But most uninteresting, unusual hunt anyway. Didn't get a bird, but it was so unusual that for years later, I still remember it. So just thought I'd pass that on.